Good afternoon and welcome along everyone to Championship Roundup, and today we're hiding behind a skip on the side of the road in Borrisolossery, and with me is TJ non-sequitur McGillicuddy Hula Hoops, and we're going to talk about the only thing that matters in this world, the Championship. Tell us, TJ, what did you think of the weekend's action?
Well, it's not really for me to say, Brian, but at the same time I'm going to talk at length about the fact that the lads gave it 128% during the weekend. I think that's a fantastic return, considering that 100% is about as much you'll get in any numerical situation. The lads deserve great credit for that, and has to be said, even though it's not for me to say it.
Indeed it's not, and sure I'm not going to disagree with you, seeing as you're stripped to the waist, waving the back axle of a Mark III Ford Escort in me face. But you were very emotional after the match on Sunday. Tell us about that, TJ.
Well, Brian, I was indeed, and sure it's no shame, and we hurlers expressed deep emotion like most Irish people by shouting and going red in the face. And sure, I remember as a young lad growing up, me barely helmet high to a hurl, many's a time after a bad day in the Championship, I would have shouted myself to sleep on my pillow at night. And sure, what about it? And I think the GA and the Catholic Church deserve great credit for that.
And so say all of us. And speaking of the church, what did you think of recent events with the Vatican?
I think the dogs in the street know that the church have produced powerful teams year on year since the dawn of time, and maybe even before. They've done a fantastic job over the centuries and brought a lot of young lads through, and the proof of the pudding is in the look at the amount of silverware they have there gathered over the years. But lately, there's been discipline problems, and they have no defence whatsoever this time round, so it's going to be tough for them now. And sure, no, who knows, Brian, the church might have to make do with the qualifiers next year, and I don't think anyone will fancy meeting them there at the back door. But having said that, the government panel are looking very strong this year. I've always said that, but it's not for me to say, like, Brian, you know.
Yes, indeed, that may well be the case, but do you really think the lads from Leinster House have what it takes to challenge the mighty church in this year's Championship?
Well, looking at it there, you'd have to say the coalition lads are look strong in the centre and on the right, but there's not much happening on the left wing. Not new there, says you. But sure, any hurler that's played against them will tell you that it's very hard to get a point across, because they'll always show great skill in moving the goalposts. But that's the very kind of thing that comes in handy against the skillful Archbishop playing the church, like. And I suppose even though the lads are looking good, it's still going to be very hard to separate church and state this year. That's my gut feeling, like, transferred into me head and then out my mouth in the form of words. But it's still not for me to say, like, you know, Brian.
Well, we know about TJ the hurler. What about TJ the man? I believe you're a big fan of the music.
That's right, Brian. I got into the singer-songwriting there, like, lately, and the lads do give me some slagging. But after spending 70 minutes behaving like a maniac with a lump of wood in the field, it's good to come home and chill out at the piano, like, with a few major chords that I brought through myself from minor.
Here we go. TJ singing David Gray. Let's see how long he can last without mentioning the Championship.
Fair play to me. Anyways, shush, here's the song, lads. Shut up now. Very emotional. This year's Championship has gone too far.
He didn't last too long at all. There you go. It's always on the brain. Hurling on the brain. There you go indeed. Well, that's all we have on this week's Championship Roundup. Tune in next week when you'll hear Paul Galvin saying Dolce and Gabbana.
Sunday. You know, just not for me to say, but at the same time,